my battle belt. Stick around. Welcome back to Three River Survival. So today what we're going to talk about is my battle belt. Now this week I was away doing some training. I was at a military installation where the FBI hosts a training package for only law enforcement, federal agents, and military personnel. So unfortunately, it is not open to the public. But again, I'm sure there's quite a bunch of trainers out there that if you want some of that, you could probably go find it if you Google it. Due to the fact that it was on a military installation, I was not allowed to take videos or pictures and put it on social media. Kind of makes sense. But we did do a lot of training with firearms, specifically your handgun or your quote-unquote duty rig, if you had one. I chose to run this belt with this weapon, and I'm going to talk about that, and that's why you guys are here and tuning in. Just a little bit about the training. We did do a lot of TAC Med, which was good, where you are officer down type drill, and then you have to make sure that officer or whoever is down, try to fix them up and get them out of there, which was good. We also did some vehicle stuff, which was great. Simunitions, which is paintball, scenario-based type training, and of course we did accuracy drills, and we also did a lot of moving and shooting kind of drills. So overall, a 5-day package, fantastic training. Again, I'm sorry I can't show you any of those videos due to OPSEC and all that other stuff. But again, we're going to talk about this. What I liked about it, what I did not like about it, what kind of worked and did not. So for most of you guys do know that I am a firearms instructor. So again, I got invited to this thing, and I'm glad that I went, because any time that you can learn a little bit and add it to your arsenal of knowledge, it's amazing. So I will always listen. Even if I think it's stupid, I'll still listen. So and believe me, I did learn quite a bit there, even the little nuggets of information that you can pass on to other people. So without further ado, what we can do though is I can show you what we're doing here. This is a Core Essentials battle belt. This is a 1.5 inch wide. All right. And if you don't know about Core, it has this ratcheting system here. You can see on this side, and this is the buckle. All right. And what it does is it just kind of fits in there, and you could adjust it accordingly, which is nice. It also has a release button here. And if you look on the outside of the belt, it does have 2 rolls of Molly or Pals, whichever one you want to call it. It is the thin version of it. So again, that's good and bad. The belt itself is not very heavy. It does come with an inner belt, or you can use any other inner belt. This happens to be the loop portion of it that goes against your body, and it does have an adjustable mesh, which is nice. All right, this mesh right here allows you to cinch the belt in very nicely. All right, so if you, let's say, ate lunch, which we did quite often, then you would have to loosen it up. And then once you digest it, you can tighten it back up. So I do like the adjustability. This came with this belt. I'm not sure if they all come with it, but Core Essentials does really, really good. On the inside of the belt, it is the hook. All right, so you can see that right there. It goes pretty much all the way around. And the buckle itself is all steel construction. This one, of course, is subdued, and you do have a little bit of a loop right here. So if you wanted to take up the slack, you can do that as well. All right, so no big deal. The big thing you have to remember on these gun belts or battle belts is that anytime you put something on this belt, you have to ensure, because this is a hook and loop belt, that the equipment that you put on there is not covering the Velcro. I know that kind of makes sense for most people, but the issue you run into is that now you have a spot where this belt is not being connected. A lot of the old school guys that were there, they were using belt keepers, so it wasn't such a big deal. But this is kind of the new norm. The new norm is to use Velcro, because if you can get Velcro all the way around your waist, you're good to go. The problem is that not all the pouches and not all the gear come in a Molly configuration. All right, and we'll get into that in a second. All right, but overall, overall, I think it is a great belt, and it lasted. I've had this thing for quite some time. You can go ahead and check back with my other videos on this belt itself and why I configured it this way. But let's get into this. All right. So the gun that I was running was the FN 509. All right. This gun is clear, safe, and empty, just to get into it. All right. So there is nothing in the chamber. All right. This is the service or duty style weapon. It is a 4-inch. It is clear. I do have on here a Surefire 300 Ultra. This is a Aimpoint Acro 2 red dot system. I put the large back straps on there. All right. So for me, this was something that I am beta testing just to see if I like it, if I want to run it. Typically, I am a Glock person, but the gun itself ran flawlessly. I think I have over 4,000 rounds through it, and I didn't clean it, and it worked flawlessly. The only thing that did not work flawlessly is the acro because of this. All right, so I guess because I was running and gunning for such a long time, that the battery died on me. Now, again, I don't think I put in Duracells. I think I put in some crappy, whatever Walmart version of these 2032s. So it could have been my fault, but again, get good batteries. And again, if I had to run this thing as a duty service weapon, and the last thing I want to do is start looking for the dot when there is a deadly force encounter. That would be terrible. Also, I don't know if you can see that, but on acro, the cover itself, the plate cover itself, is plastic. So if you put any type of metal tools in there, like a screwdriver, I think we used a key. There's a bunch of keys that you can buy now for the acro that's plastic. You will destroy this little slot in here, and I think I did a little bit of damage on there as well. And that's a problem because now if you have to change the battery multiple times, this little plate right here gets destroyed, and then your red dot is useless. So this is a $600 red dot. All right, that is not cheap. So I'm not a big fan of that plate cover. So if you're watching this Aimpoint Acro, change it to metal. All right, or get something that's a little bit easier. And you know, it's a good optic. The accuracy maintained. It is an all-inclusive optic, which is kind of nice. All right, and I do like it, but the battery life sucks. So again, check that out. If you're looking for a red dot option, the acro is very accurate, very durable. Battery life, no good. All right, so that was the gun that I was running, and I was running 17-round magazines. All right, that just comes with the weapon. So I think you get two. I think you get 2 or 3 with that weapon. Not really sure. Let me take the mags out so I make this a little bit easier. All right, so I had 4 or 5 magazines just in case because they told us to bring it, and it made sense because instead of reloading, you just have a couple. All right, so my holster of choice was, of course, a Safariland. Again, this is made specifically for the FN 509 in that configuration. It is a triple retention holster. It does have the QLS system on there. Ideally, I use this belt for quite a number of different guns when I'm training, so I wanted to ensure that that was on there as well. The holster is fantastic. I bought it directly from Safariland. They're not cheap as well. I think this holster is about $200+. It's not cheap, but it does fit the acro. That's the biggest thing with a closed emitter, is that you got to ensure that it fits inside your holster. I know that kind of makes sense, but again, be wary of that. I think these are the 60-something series or the 6000 series. So it's not the molded injected holsters. They are the Kydex holsters where they have to put a mold and then adjust them. So, but very, very well done. Again, QLS system makes life so much easier. And now I can secure my firearm just like that. all right, and put it away. And when I need it, just slip it on. All right, so good on Safariland, fantastic holster, never had a problem with them. And even if I did, I can call them up and they give me a new one. I also have the UBL leg drop or the drop. I think this is not the mid ride, this is the low ride. So this space up here is a little bit longer and it brings the gun down, and I have the plate on there. Also, be advised, if you are going to get a 1.5 UBL, a 1.5 belt, you have to get the slots that fit a 1.5. Some of these slots are made for larger duty belts, which is 2 or maybe 3 inches. So I had one that was very long or made for that, and I did not have the correct version. And what that does is it allows this thing to move around too much. So I omitted that. I got the right UBL, which is the Universal Belt Loop connector, and it worked fine, and that's what I wanted. All right, so it worked great. This is my tourniquet pouch holder. If you're not familiar, go to threeriverkydex.com. I actually make these. So again, not only am I product testing my own products, but I'm also giving a free plug. All right, so it will fit with the regular cat tourniquet, and it will also fit with the soft T wide. All right, so I had that on there and it worked out pretty good. So if you're interested, go to Three River Kydex. For my med kit, I went very, very basic and very simple. This is a pouch that's made by, or used to be made by Special Operations Equipment, SOE, and it's very, very simple. It's just a trauma shear that I threw in there, and I also have a Izzy bandage, and it just fits like that. All right, so I'm going to change this pouch out. I don't think it was bad. I think it's good for what it is, but it's a rip away pouch, so if you want, you can rip this away and get to all the stuff that's in there. The problem is after I did the TAC Med class, I figured that I went minimalistic on med because you have to put all this stuff on your belt and it's not comfortable, but I wanted to upgrade a little bit, and also because this is a belt mounted pouch only, again, it does take away from the Velcro, like I said before. So I'll keep that on there for now, but I did order a new pouch, something a little bit with more medical kit that I can put in there. I'm not saying this is bad, but it wasn't perfect. Again, we didn't have any medical emergencies, but it was okay. I could do better, and that's what I'm trying to do. This is the Maxpedition dump pouch. It rolls up really nice. I think they call it like the roly-poly. You can roll it up. All right, fits in the small of your back, very, very nice. And then when you need it, you just dump it out. And again, this thing worked perfectly. A lot of people sometimes don't run dump pouches, but if you're going to run and gun all day, all week, I think it's ideal. I put extra ammo in there, so when we switched ranges, I can go to a different range. Water bottles, anything that I wanted, I put it in there. I think I just have an extra tourniquet in there for now. I got to set that one up. That's why I put it in there. So definitely worthwhile. Maxpedition. I'll put all the links down below if you guys are interested in any of this kit. So if you want to build your own battle belt like me, you can do that. They did say bring a flashlight, so I tried to bring the largest or best Candela flashlight I can find. I did go with the Warrior Olight 3. This has 25,000 lumens. All right, this thing is the power of the sun. Okay, the issue that you run into Olight, a couple of issues, and I think they fixed it, was number one. There was no sensor in the beginning when they started making these, so if you kept this on, it could potentially start a fire. They have fixed that, since fixed that. I did put this little tactical loop on there, so if you are trying to use your weapon, all right, so you can use your weapon and your flashlight at the same time if you needed to. So that was very, very useful to put this finger loop on there, and that's why I ran it with this one specifically. It's a very heavy flashlight. These are not light. There's a whole bunch of flashlights that you can get. This is what I got, and again, remember that you always have to keep it charged because, again, it's not going to last forever, especially if you're running at 2500 Candela. But I do like it. It did work for my purposes, and again, I want as much lumens as I can get. All right, so it worked out pretty good. We didn't do too much night stuff, but when I needed it, I had it on there. It was great. All right, the gloves itself just has a little clip right here. I ran pig gloves. All right, pig gloves have always been my favorite. You can get them on Amazon, different colors. I'll put the links down below. But again, when we started with simunitions, everybody knows that when you start shooting at each other with paint pellets, you always get jacked in the hands and they freaking hurt. So I made sure that I had these. These are very thin, so they're not good for, they're not good for the cold weather, but they are shooting gloves, and that worked out fantastic. So I just clip them on here. And again, they won't last as long as you think they will, especially if you are running rifles and shotguns. But for my purposes, like I said, simunitions, moving heavy objects, helping out, set up the range, it worked flawlessly. So very good there. All right. As far as magazine pouches, this is just a Sharpie. I put that in there. As far as magazine pouches go, all I did was use Kiwis. Kiwis are bomb-proof. I love Kiwi products. I've been using them for a long time. This one is for an M4. We didn't use any rifle stuff, but I had a pouch if I needed. And then I have the 3 pouches for the pistol mags, and it does come with, or I did have to purchase extra, the molly straps. I had to purchase extra the molly straps, which worked out excellent. They didn't move. Very, very impressed with it, and it worked flawlessly. And what's good about this rig or this setup is that, okay, if I wanted to change my pistol, let's say I wanted to go to a Glock, all I need to do, change the gun, change the holster, make sure I have a QLS on that, and then instead of running FN magazines, now I can run Glock magazines. So this rig is very, very universal. I did leave a little space up front. They also told us to grab like a pair of handcuffs because we were going to do a little bit of combative, so I did that as well. But I took them off for now just to show you guys. But I think overall the class was outstanding, but the battle belt itself, or the range belt, was fantastic too. It did not we wore these things all day. I wore it with body armor. I wore it without body armor, and it worked. So if you're interested in a very lightweight type of rig or setup, Core Essentials does a very, very good job, and I'm happy to have shown you this. All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button and ensure that you hit that little bell icon. It really does help the channel. If you want to support this channel, you can shop on the links down below. Buy from Amazon. I think I get like 2 cents on a dollar. So thank you very much for that. You can also become a Patreon member. It only costs you $1 a month, and you get to watch videos like this before anybody else. Thank you very much, guys, and as always, keep training.